I'm going to show you how to do circular motion. So the first thing I want to do is just walk you through the basic steps of what circular motion is, and then we're going to go through sort of a routine of sort of a whole practice of circular motion. So the first thing you want to do is I'm going to take the left leg and bend it forward like you're sitting cross-legged. Then we're going to take the right leg and sort of bend it back, almost like you're doing a leap, like if you're a, what are those people, they run and they leap, track, can't remember the name, used to do it. Anyway, you know what I mean. I'll think of it in the middle of this. Anyway, if your hips don't open this wide, and some people's don't, and that's cool, practice this first motion in a version of sitting cross-legged, either just a regular cross-legged, ideally with one foot in front of the other so you get more of a firm base. That will work as well. But this is our ideal position. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to place your left hand down right beside, just a little in front of your left knee, and then you're going to bend it as you bend over, and then you're just going to stretch that right arm out. Like, see, I'm watching my fingers and I'm going to watch them up, and as I get about here, notice that my right arm lifts up following, so it's almost like I'm carrying a big old beach ball here, right? And then my right arm comes down, slowly bending, and this left arm, see that, oh, really nice stretch right there. It's going to come around, and then it's just going to go across, just barely dragging the floor till I get back to that hand position. And then this one comes across, and then it reaches out, because here's a really nice stretch again, and we just do that motion again. So there's a point where I'm like, oh, right? And then feel that stretch. Yes, yes, and take it around. Left hand down, right hand, and I'm going to speed it up a little so you can see what it ultimately looks like. Ultimately, as you get comfortable with it, it goes a little faster like this. And once you've done enough of them on this side, you're going to stop in the middle and go the other direction. Right? And it's the exact same movement. So we'll start from the stop in the middle. And we're just, let's see, we just came around, we're going to go, so we just came around this way, and we're going to go right arm down, left arm stretch, around, open, same thing. And you can go back and forth and just practice that a few times just to get, so this basic step. Now the thing that you want to make sure is all this motion is coming from your trapezius, from the core of your body. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that my body's in this sort of nice vertical aligned position. Also, my arms are wide, but they're not ever behind my body. They're just slightly in front, and they stay on like one plane, right? As if there were a big glass pane in front of me. I'm going to open. See, notice they're just slightly in front of my body. From the side, they look exactly wide, but I mean the front. And when you look at the side, you can see that they're sort of in front. That's me switching sides. And I'm just going to show you my back, just so you can see where the movement's coming from. Notice, I don't know if you can see, but if you can, the movement is all coming from right in here. So that is your basic circular motion. So practice that a few times until you get comfortable moving that a little more quickly. Excuse me. So now I'm going to show you sort of the routine. There's a whole routine to this, and it takes, I don't know, 5 minutes. We'll see, right? I really enjoy doing this. Anybody that's ever done a show with me will know that this is part of the warm-up I do for shows, for rehearsals, when I have the time and the space. It really helps me a lot. It opens up the shoulders, it gets your core connection, and it's really very freeing. So, starting in this position, with my left leg front and my right leg back, the first thing I'm going to do is let myself collapse over my left thigh. So put my elbows down, and the first thing I'm going to do is really connect to my core. So just moving back and forth from the core. And if this is too squished for you, you can also Put your palms on the floor. Just bend your arms. So my shoulders are following, but the movement is coming from here, right in here, okay? So then, yeah, I do this a few times, and then I'm gonna use the core to roll up. I'm gonna keep my hand on it to remind me that I'm using that core, and I'm just gonna take a couple side to side here. Again, really connecting to that core. Good. Now, we're actually gonna start backwards. We're gonna reach back with that right arm. Just reach back, and then it's almost like we're doing that circular motion. Left hand on the floor, right arm drags across, opening up and release, right? So the first one's just sort of hello, preview, right? We do the same thing on the other side. Left arm out, right arm down, up and release. Now we go full on. Back, take it down, and circular motion, right? Open, open. And there's this moment at the top where it's like you just sort of take a nice deep breath in and release it. And then one of those, let it go the other way. Notice I like to inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And good. And then I'm gonna lean back and I'm gonna lift up my pelvis like so. And then I'm going to do a figure 8 with my pelvis. This is not attractive, but it's good for the pelvis. It's good for isolation, it's good for waking up your pelvis. Just do a little bit of that, wake up the pelvis, then releasing that back down. I'm gonna take that left hand again, put it down by my knee, and this time I'm gonna reach up and out, getting a stretch. I don't know if you can see all of this, hopefully. Really good stretch right here, and then I'm just gonna take the whole thing over into child's pose, releasing down. I personally like to use this to get a vocal warm up. The other thing I like to do is just I find that being sort of almost upside down really helps to release my jaw and my face. Or you could just do this, right? Either way. From there, you're gonna let yourself just roll over and do a little shape flow. Right, and shape flow, just flowing from one dimension to the next. Nice and easy, just letting your body do what feels good. And eventually, in that shape flow, you're gonna end up the other way, right? So, now we've got your right leg in front, left leg back, or if you're doing whichever foot was crossed, try to cross the other foot, okay? So from here, we just start that whole process again. Hands on the floor or elbows on the floor. I like elbows because it means I'm fully released. Oh. And sometimes I do a vocal warm up here too because it just feels good. Whatever you want. And you can come up a little further if that feels good. Really connecting to the core, letting that motion be in the core of the body. Rolling up, sitting up straight, nice and aligned from the core, right? And you see my shoulders moving a lot, but I put my hand here to remind my body that the movement is from here, from the core. Good. So from here, we just do the whole thing again. So we do our prep, preview, whatever we call it. Left arm back, right hand down, open and release. Right arm, left arm, open and release. And then we go into our circular motion. I'm going to just get this way so you can sort of see me sideways a little more. And you can see how my hands are all along this plane in front of the body and really enjoying those stretches like here and here. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to have one of those moments and we go the other way. Down, up, and down, and open. And again, as much as you want to do. And when you finish, I like to end here and then just release it down. And then we're going to do the same thing. You just have a different angle now. Lifting up my pelvis. At least it's not facing you right now. And we're just going to take that pelvis. And it's a little different because you've got a different leg in front. And this might be a little harder if you're sitting cross-legged, but improvise, do the best you can. just trying to do a figure 8. You can see my pelvis is a little tight today. I'm not wanting to do this. That's okay. Just doing them, just trying them is loosening it up, right? And so from here, take my right arm, put it down on the floor, and then reaching out into that stretch. I'm going to turn that sideways so you can see all of it. Hopefully get that nice stretch. So there's a really good stretch happening here. Yeah. And then I'm going to take that down again into my child's pose, right? Whatever you want to do here to release. That's what I like to do. Again, at your own choice. From here, you're going to let yourself come up on your knees, roll up, and now we're going to do circular motion from the knees. So I like to spread out a little bit to give a nice firm base, and I'll show you this in the other direction. And this time it doesn't matter which way you go, but I just start with, for today, let's start with the right arm crossing in front, same way we did on the floor, except our hands aren't touching. And we just open and release. Up and release. Up and release. Up and release. Feel that, release. Let's do one more. Up. And then we go the other way. And I'm going to turn front so you can see me go the other way. You can see where my legs are. Right here, so I'm here. And I go around this way. And again, nice stretches. The other thing you can see, and you probably see it better when I was this way, is that there's a bit of a up and down that my thighs are doing. Go this way. See, they stay really straight when my body's here, and then they kind of come down a little bit. That's okay, right? That helps to get that motion. And again, notice that my hands are going all along that plane. So I'm going to do that a few times, and then I'm going to get up. I like to get up on my left leg. You do whatever feels good for you. But for today, let's start with our left leg. So then we're just going to go like that, like we're going to propose to someone. And if you need it, you can use your leg for support, or you can just have that left arm hanging, and you're going to come up and open up into circular motion in standing. And then I get to the and I'm going to go the other way. Now, what I want you to see is that, again, my hands are on that plane that's just a little bit in front of me. Never like that, because you see that does terrible things to your back. If I'm facing you, it looks like this. So again, like when you're on your knees, there's a real nice release here. I'm going to freeze for a moment. This is where I am. And there's this really great release that's happening here, if you let it. And then that stretch and open and release. Open, release. I try to keep my knees out. My toes are also turned out. Your toes should always follow your knees. If your toes and your knees are going in different directions, bad things happen to your knees, all right? Toes follow the knees. Occasionally, my legs want to straighten, and I'll just remind them to stay nice and loose and bent. And then you can do that, again, both sides. And if you want to take that, you can take that into sort of a traveling step by just stepping on one leg and going forward and around. But that's sort of a bonus. Anyway, I'm not going to go that far with this particular video, but just know that that's out there. So that is our basic circular motion. First, the how to do it, and then secondly, the routine that I go for, which includes the floor, the knees, and then standing. Great. So I hope you enjoyed circular motion. Thank you so much.